Do you see the occupation of Palestine as a result of capitalist imperialism?
Yeah, I think we have to understand, why does the US support this genocidal regime? It's strange because it's deeply unpopular in the US. People want to see the genocide stop. They recognize that Israel is being extremely destructive, committing war crimes, violating international law, etc. Why would the US continue to support to the point of debasing their own apparent values so publicly? And the reason is because the US sees Israel as crucial to the interests of the capitalist class. Now, let me explain exactly what's going on here. The US started supporting Israel in the 1960s. Now, why was that? It's because across the Middle East and North Africa, there was a movement called Pan-Arabism and also Pan-Africanism, which were inspiring the masses in these regions. And the US knew, if you're looking at the Middle East and North Africa, which they consider to be the linchpin of the world, an area like this going independent and having control over their own resources is deeply threatening to the possibility of
existential threat.
Existential threat, totally. And so they knew they needed some way of destabilizing these movements, and they used Israel to do that. So Israel became kind of the attack dog of the United States. They armed it to the teeth. They directly used Israel to destabilize the more radical movements in the Middle East, the socialist movements in the Middle East. They used Israel to bomb countries, assassinate leaders, destroy progressive political associations, etc., etc. It's effectively a US military base in the region.
It's not just about having a military presence in an oil-rich area, but it's actually fundamental to the operation of this imperialist capitalist economic model that's global and runs much deeper than just the oil trade.
Absolutely. It's not just about any particular resource. It's about, we have to dismantle the very possibility of these popular socialist movements ever winning the hearts and minds of people, which they automatically do, right? And so they have to be violently crushed. And so it's not necessarily like the US desperately needs Gaza to be obliterated, but rather they cannot stomach the possibility of a liberated Palestine, because this might lead to liberation movements elsewhere in the region, and that becomes very destabilizing for the US. Freedom is not an acceptable idea.